Hey, this is David Miller with the Miller Realty Group of Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here to help you get real estate smart. All right, so today we're going to talk about the sales contract, and we're going to talk about the two most common contingencies that are found within a contract. So what is a contingency? So a contingency is something that's put into a contract that gives the buyer capability to back out depending on the circumstance. So the first one we're going to talk about is the inspection period. So the inspection period on standard contracts are usually set for 15 days. Now, if you're the seller, you typically want to have it less than that, like 7 days. And if you're the buyer, you want to have it longer than that. But basically, during that period of time is when the buyer is able to do as many inspections that they want to do on the property. Of course, the seller has to be notified and have due time to allow them in, but they have an opportunity to do a home inspection, a WDO inspection, which is wood destroying organisms for wood rot and termites. They can do a septic inspection. They can do a lot of different inspections, but those are the main ones that take place. So how that works is on a Florida as-is contract, which 90% of the contracts are used or as-is contracts, the buyer has the right to inspect the property during that time period, and they can back out for any reason during that time period. So if it's a 7-day inspection period, they get the inspections done on day 3, and then they are able to, maybe they find that there's termites or there's a huge leak or whatever, they're able to back out by day 7 and get their escrow money back. All right, so that's important to understand. Number 2, the other one is the financial contingency. So unless it's a cash deal, there's going to be a financial contingency, which means during that period of time, the buyer has an opportunity to get a loan commitment from their lender proving that they're going to be able to get the funds to purchase the property. Now, it's usually 30 days within the contract. If it's FHA or VA, sometimes it might be longer. Once again, if you're the seller, you want it shorter, no longer than 30 days. And if you're the buyer, maybe you want it longer than that time period. But how that works is during that time period, the buyer has an opportunity to get financing. Now, before you go under contract, your realtor should be contacting that lender and to find out and do their due diligence to make sure that it is a good pre-qualification letter. You should make sure you should always have a pre-qual letter before you go under contract. And number 2, what we like to do is call the lender to find out if that pre-qualification letter was put together based on what was verbally given to them, or if they have already provided supporting documentation. Personally, I like to have supporting, not me, but I like to make sure the lender has supporting documentation, because there's so many websites that buyers can go to nowadays, and they can just plug in anything they want and get a pre-approval letter just like that. Those are not the type of buyers I want to go on contract with for my sellers. So basically, during that 30, let's say it's 30 days, they have the opportunity to get a commitment letter from the lender. If they're not able to get one, they have to provide written notice, and then they would be able to back out of the contract and get their escrow back. So it's very important to make sure that the due diligence is done on the front end to prevent any problems that may occur. That doesn't guarantee that if the due diligence is done that they will get approved 100%. But I will tell you with confidence, about 95% of the times we don't have any problems. In the last 12 years of doing business, we've only had 3 deals that fell through because of financing. So those are the 2 main contingencies that you need to be aware of on the buyer side and the seller side. And I hope I was able to allow you to get real estate smart. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks.